Hello, and welcome back to the Scam TV News Studio. From our studios, we want to bring you the latest scam news. These news stories are ripped from the headlines and brought to life for you in our Scam TV studios. My name is Scott, and I will be your host for this video. Unfortunately, the headlines are full of romance scam stories. Many of these stories end with the victim losing lots of money and the scammer not being apprehended. Fortunately, our story today is somewhat satisfying because at least this romance scammer was caught and sentenced to prison time, something that doesn't happen very often in the world of romance scams. This story is very unique. Not only was this scammer a romance scammer, he was also a bank thief. That's right, a bank thief. Our scammer in this story is a former Columbus, Ohio bank employee who scammed multiple people out of nearly $2 million. Thankfully, he will spend more than 8 years in prison. Our bank thief/romance scammer is named Prince Oduro, which is actually very ironic. Many of you may have heard of a scam involving a prince from West Africa. The Nigerian Prince scam, as it has been called, has been up and running since the early days of the internet. This scam is also commonly referred to as a 419 scam, named after the Nigerian penal code for fraud. The scam is a phishing attack when swindlers reach out to potential victims and promise a large sum of money in return for some help. Victims are usually asked to make an advance payment or share their personal details to get their reward. The last name of Oduro has its origins in Ghana. So I guess what we have here is a real prince from West Africa, specifically Ghana. Anyways, back to our story. The United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Ohio announced that Prince Oduro, 34, was sentenced in federal court on March 8th to 8.5 years in prison for money laundering and wire fraud, and ordered to pay back $1.8 million to his victims. Oduro of Westerville, Ohio, admitted to stealing customers' bank information and wiring money to PayPal accounts. Oduro had previously admitted to stealing customers' bank information and wiring money to PayPal accounts. However, after pleading guilty to the bank-related charges, Oduro turned to his other source of income, also known as romance scamming. Oduro continued his career as a romance scammer after his plea to bank-related charges, by posing as a romantic interest to people online. Yes, that's right, even after pleading guilty, this guy continues to pose as a romantic love interest online. A perfect example of the determination, yet complete disregard of the law, that these scammers possess. According to the federal complaint, Oduro accessed at least 5 customers' bank information while working for JP Chase Bank in Columbus. He then wired customers' money to PayPal accounts and withdrew funds as cash. From 2015 through March 2020, Oduro stole more than $1 million, funneling the funds through PayPal accounts he also used to launder proceeds from concurrently running online romance scams. How Oduro was able to get away with stealing from the bank for so long is a looming question. Either his ability to hide the thefts was fantastic, or the bank had lax controls in place. Which one is the correct answer is unknown. But Oduro did not stray very far from the tried and true storylines used by romance scammers. According to the criminal complaint, Oduro's online storylines included posing as someone needing a medical operation, or someone who had been injured while deployed to Afghanistan, or someone who had access to gold and silver. Yes, all these tactics are common tactics used by romance scammers. We have posted these cliched storylines on the Scam TV screen behind me. Please pay close attention to them because they are some of the most common storylines used by romance scammers. They are enshrined in the Romance Scammer Book of Lies. While these storylines might sound familiar to you from hearing about romance scams, they might be being used right now on someone you know who is actually being seduced by them. So passing along a link to this video just might make someone you know see these lines for what they actually are: bold-faced lies. Yet while most of us might see these tactics as cliched romance scam storylines, they are obviously still working on innocent victims. In fact, one victim sent Oduro nearly $400,000, believing her dead husband had stolen valuable artwork while traveling to Atlanta for business. When investigators executed a search warrant, they found incriminating messages on Oduro's phone. In a WhatsApp message found by investigators on Oduro's phone, he texted a friend saying, "This is the only business in America I can do and make $20K in a month and not get arrested. I'm locating money. I'm not fraud anyone. It's called money laundering." Oduro was arrested in 2022 and pleaded guilty in January 2023. But as stated previously, he continued his online romance scams. Oduro was rearrested in November 2023 after racking up more than $700,000 from a post-plea fraud. It seems as if Oduro being charged and pleading guilty only motivated him even more. He simply cranked up his romance scamming career to make up for losses after being caught stealing from the very bank he worked at. In addition to the 102 months in prison, Oduro was ordered to pay $1.8 million in restitution. Restitution is unlikely, since the dollar a day he will earn in prison will make it hard to pay back what he stole. But at least one thief and romance scammer is off the street. We like to highlight these romance scam stories here on Scam TV because it helps expose the ever-so-common tactics used by romance scammers. These scammers are not the most creative bunch, but their tactics seem to continually work. We firmly believe that if we keep exposing these tactics and cliched storylines used by romance scammers, it will alert someone out there to the very same tactics and storylines currently being used on them. Hopefully, common sense will prevail and they will recognize they are being scammed and immediately cut off communications with their would-be scammer. So please pass along a link to this video to someone you may know who can use it. You just never know who it might help. A very common issue with romance scam victims is that even after a friend or family might alert them to a potential scam, they refuse to believe it. One of the reasons many romance scam victims are hard to dissuade is because romance scam victims have become emotionally invested in their relationship with the scammer. They don't want to believe they are being scammed by someone they see as the love of their life, so they will often ignore evidence they are being scammed. Many times, mature and experienced adults will resort to the emotional level of a high schooler when told they might be getting scammed. The refrain, "No, you are wrong," is commonly screamed at their detractors. It is only after they lose lots of money that they realize they were really scammed. Then embarrassment and shame sets in. So it is our hope here at Scam TV and Stamp Out Scams that we can be a voice of reason and help someone see reality. Behind me on our Scam TV screen is a list of places you can report romance scam-related crimes. Please do not hesitate to report any romance scam-related crime. Even if you don't think it will do anything, it really does help combat romance scams. Not only does it help law enforcement, it will serve as documentation that you were either victimized or were the attempted victim of a romance scam. So please take note of the reporting agencies listed on the screen. A good start for reporting romance scamming activity to law enforcement is with local law enforcement. While it is true, oftentimes it seems like local law enforcement does nothing with the reports or doesn't have the resources to investigate. This should never stop someone from taking the time to report it. One of the big reasons for reporting is that the scammer may be victimizing your very own neighbors. As we always say here at Scam TV, we are hoping to stop scammers one video at a time. Also, as a reminder, Stamp Out Scams is a registered nonprofit in Southern California, so any donations to our cause is tax deductible. We would certainly appreciate it. Donations can be made through our website at stampoutscams.org. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to Scam TV. Thank you very much. This is Scott signing off, and we hope to see you back here on Scam TV real soon.